Hello everyone. Today we're going to look at one of the most controversial topics in football. How have Manchester United managers performed since Sir Alex Ferguson retired in 2013? We'll be comparing them properly, using hard facts and figures. I'm not going to give my personal ranking from worst to best until the end. To keep things fair and unbiased, I'll be judging each manager on 5 key points. 1. Major trophies won, because at the end of the day, trophies are what really matter. 2. Overall win percentage in all competitions, which of them added a trophy to Manchester United's trophy cabinet. 3. Average points per game in the Premier League. This shows how consistent they have been in the league, which is United's bread and butter. 4. Their Premier League position, best position, average position, and all that. And finally, 5. Average goal difference per game, because that tells you a lot about the team's balance in attack and defence. All the numbers come straight from official sources like the Premier League website and Transfermarkt, so there's no need for guesswork. Let's get into it, starting with the first person who had the impossible task of following Fergie.
Alright, let's kick things off with the man who had arguably the toughest job in football, stepping into Sir Alex Ferguson's shoes, David Moyes. Moyes was personally chosen by Ferguson himself and arrived in July 2013 on a 6-year contract, but things went south pretty quickly. He lasted less than 1 full season, sacked in April 2014 after just 10 months in charge. In that time, he managed 51 games across all competitions. Now let's look at him through our 5 key metrics. Major trophies, 0. Overall win percentage, around 53%. Points per game in the Premier League, 1.68, which put United on course for their lowest ever Premier League points total at the time. League finishing position, 7th place in the 2013-14 season. United missed out on Champions League football for nearly 2 decades. Average goal difference per game, about 0.6. Not terrible, but nowhere near the dominant numbers fans were used to under Ferguson. The season was full of low points, early exits in the Cups, a string of home defeats, and United even dropped out of the top 6 at one stage. By April, after a 2-0 loss to Everton, Moyes' old club, the board pulled the plug. It was a brutal introduction to life after Ferguson. Many fans still call it the beginning of the decline. Next up, a complete change in style. On to the next manager, a big name with a completely different philosophy, Louis van Gaal. The Dutchman arrived in July 2014 on a 3-year deal and was tasked with leading United back into the Champions League. He stayed for 2 full seasons before being sacked in May 2016, just hours after winning the FA Cup, believe it or not. In total, he managed 103 games in all competitions. Let's look at him through our 5 key metrics. Major trophies, 1. The FA Cup in 2016. It was United's first major trophy since Ferguson left. Overall win percentage, around 52%. Points per game in the Premier League, 1.89, a clear improvement on Moyes. League standings, 5th in the first season, 2014-15, and 4th in the second season, 2015-16. Average goal difference per game, around 0.58. Solid, but not spectacular. Van Gaal brought structure to United and introduced a style of possession-based football, which was sometimes a bit slow for the fans. The phrase Louis van Gaal's army and all those tedious side-footed passes became a joke, but he brought a trophy and a consistent league position after the chaos of Moyes' time. Eventually, the board decided it wasn't exciting enough and pulled the trigger just after the FA Cup win at Wembley. José Mourinho, the one and only Mr. Special. He joined the team in May 2016 on a 3-year deal with a huge reputation and a mission to bring trophies back to Old Trafford. Mourinho lasted around 2.5 seasons before being sacked in December 2018 after a difficult start to the 2018-19 season. In total, he made 144 appearances in all competitions. Here's how he fared against our 5 key criteria. Major trophies, 3. The Europa League in 2017, the League Cup in 2017, and many also consider the Charity Shield, but we're sticking to the major trophies. That's more than any manager since Ferguson. Overall win percentage around 58%. Points per game in the Premier League just under 2.0. Good consistency. League standings, 5th in the first season, a strong 2nd in 2017-18, and then things fell apart in the half season before he left. Average goal difference per game, around 0.85. The best balance of attack and defence we'll see on this list. Mourinho immediately won the league title in his first season, winning a domestic cup and a European Cup while finishing 6th. His second season in the league was even better, 2nd place, plenty of points, and for a while a real challenge for the title. But his style was sometimes overly defensive. There were big clashes with players like Pogba, and by late 2018, the team was conceding too many goals and the dressing room was falling apart. He left United in 6th place, but no one can deny that he brought trophies and stability after the initial chaos. The next man to bring the good vibes back to Old Trafford is a true club legend, Ole Gunnar Solskjær. Ole took over as caretaker manager in December 2018 after Mourinho was sacked, and that famous comeback against Paris Saint-Germain in Paris almost sealed his permanent job in March 2019. He stayed in the role until November 2021, the longest tenure of any manager since Ferguson, with around 3 years in charge and 168 games in all competitions. Let's break it down by our 5 criteria. Major trophies, 0. He reached the Europa League final in 2021 but lost on penalties to Villarreal. Overall win percentage, around 54%. Good, but not quite at Mourinho's level. Points per game in the Premier League, around 1.82. Good consistency over several seasons. Finishing league rankings, 6th in the first half of the season, then 3rd, a brilliant 2nd in 2020-21, and 6th again when he left midway through the 2021-22 campaign. Average goal difference per game around plus 0.7. The team played exciting attacking football and scored plenty of goals, especially compared to Mourinho's time. Ole brought back the smiles, the pride, and turned things around from that toxic end under Mourinho. He had incredible away records, such as that long unbeaten run, and players like Rashford, Greenwood, and Bruno Fernandes flourished under him. But ultimately, a lack of trophies, a few heavy defeats, and a poor start to the 2021-22 campaign cost him his job. Many fans still love him for the positive energy he brought to the team. Next, we have the man who heralded a new era with total football, Erik ten Hag. The Dutchman arrived from Ajax in July 2022 with a reputation for nurturing young players and delivering attractive, high-pressing football. He lasted just over 2 years, being sacked in October 2024 after a disastrous start to the 2024-25 season. In total, he managed 128 games in all competitions. Let's look at 5 metrics. Major trophies. 2. The League Cup in 2023 and the FA Cup in 2024. That shock win over City in the FA Cup final is still one of the highlights of the post-Ferguson years. Overall win percentage, around 56%. Good, but not impressive in the latter months. Points per game in the Premier League, around 1.82. Decent, but unstable. League standings, a promising 3rd in his first season, 2022-23, then a disappointing 8th in 2023-24, United's lowest ever Premier League finish, and 14th when he left early the following season. Average goal difference per game, around plus 0.4. The team could attack well at times, but defensive problems and injuries really hurt them, especially in that final season. Ten Hag had a strong first year, beating rivals, ending a trophy drought, and getting United back into the Champions League. But things fell apart later. Poor recruitment in some areas, a record number of injuries, heavy defeats, and that awful Champions League group stage exit. By the time he was sacked after another poor spell, the board had seen enough.
Mixed feelings from the fans, appreciation for the trophies, but disappointment at the lack of progress. And finally, the current manager trying to rebuild Manchester United, Ruben Amorim. The young Portuguese arrived in November 2024 from Sporting Lisbon, where he won several titles with his distinctive 3-4-3 system. He has been in charge for just over a year now and has made around 60 to 70 appearances in all competitions by early 2026. Here is how our 5 key metrics stand so far. Major trophies. Still no trophies. A tough full season with an early exit from the FA Cup and defeat in the Europa League final. Overall win percentage around 35 to 40%, the lowest since Ferguson. Points per game in the Premier League around 1.1 to 1.3, struggling for consistency and suffering heavy defeats along the way. League standings, United finished bottom of the table last season, except for the European places, and are a long way from challenging for the title this term. Average goal difference per game, negative. Defensive woes and conceding too many goals have been a major problem. Amorim has brought fresh ideas, a clear tactical identity, and exciting moments such as big wins against rivals. But it's been a bumpy ride. The team has taken time to adapt to his style, injuries have not helped, and results have been inconsistent. Fans are divided. Some see long-term potential, others are disappointed by the lack of progress. He is still early in his project, and with support in the transfer market, things could change. But for now, this is the toughest period United have had since Ferguson. Okay, that's all the managers covered. Now it's time to get to the big thing, my personal ranking from worst to best, solely based on these statistics.
Okay, we've looked at every manager since Sir Alex Ferguson retired, from Moyes' rocky start to the ongoing Amorim project. To sum up, here's my personal ranking from worst to best, based solely on those 5 key metrics we talked about at the start. Trophies first, then win percentage, points per game in the league, final standings, and goal difference. Starting from the bottom, 6. Ruben Amorim. Still in his early days, but still without a trophy, and with the lowest win rate and PPG ever. It's been a tough time. Of course, he still has a chance to improve on those figures. 5. David Moyes. Trophyless, lowest league position for decades, and things quickly fell apart. 4. Louis van Gaal. An FA Cup saved him from a slow but steady run of results. 3. Ole Gunnar Solskjær. Despite the longest tenure, he didn't win a major trophy, but he did have some great league finishes and exciting football at times. 2. Erik ten Hag. 2 trophies and a strong first season, but a series of dips and finishes have hurt him. And number 1, no surprise, José Mourinho is the most successful manager in this difficult period. Look, and 3 trophies, the highest win percentage, and United's best league position since Ferguson, 2nd place. None of them have come close to what Ferguson achieved, but Mourinho has delivered trophies and real results when the going gets tough. What do you think? Is Mourinho clearly number 1, or would you put someone else higher? Do you think Ruben Amorim could turn Manchester United into a giant? Write your own list in the comments. I'll read them all. If you enjoyed this in-depth statistical review, hit the like button, subscribe for more football analysis, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. Thanks for sticking with me until the end.